Very good morning. In our previous lab, we have performed here the program of median filtering. Right? Median filtering is used to remove the salt and paper noise, and we have applied this median filter with the built-in function as well as without using built-in function. Right? This is what we have done. Now, we will see today the low pass filtering and high pass filtering. Right? How to apply it, how to do it. So, um, first I'll show you that how to convert your image into uh, the frequency domain. Okay, so suppose here I have taken, I'll just run this meanwhile and I'll explain you what we are doing here is. Suppose we are taking this f equals to all zeros of 512 cross 512, right? So one black color image would be there, right, with all the zeros. Next, what I'm doing is for the particular rows and particular columns, I'm setting it as 1. So it will create such kind of rectangle. Once I have taken this black color image, and for this 280, this 247 to 287, this many rows, and for this small column, it will set the intensity value equals to 1. Okay, so it will be like this in the spatial domain. Now I'm converting it into the frequency domain. So I'll take the fast Fourier transform of the image. So your image will look like this. And again, I'm applying inverse of it. So I'll again have my original image back in the spatial domain. Fine. This is what we are doing. We have seen this thing already into our theory session, right? We have already seen this thing. So I'm just showing you. So I'm just subplotting this and show f. I'm showing you the original image. Then I'm converting it into the frequency domain via this function FFT2. FFT fast Fourier transform of 2D image. So FFT2, right? With this original image f. So that converted image is there in variable x, right? Then I'm taking inverse of it. So I'll do here IFFT2 of this x. So I'll get my original image back in the spatial domain with this variable p, right? First we are applying here the discrete Fourier transform. In the second, I'm doing inverse of that, right? So is this thing is clear first, because we want to apply low pass filter and high pass filter in frequency domain. So the very first basic knowledge you should have is how to convert image in frequency domain. Because of that reason, we have seen this. So is it clear? Hello. One is saying yes. Fine. Before starting this low pass and high pass filter, do you know what are the different steps how to do that process in description? See, this is what the image, we have taken this rectangle. We are not getting image like this. Why? Because we haven't multiplied it with minus 1 raised to x plus y. Do you remember that? No translation. I hope you remember that. So we haven't applied that, as well as they have taken low. So it will be more clear to see the minor detail. Okay. Otherwise, we are doing the same thing. We are doing the same thing. These are the steps. Please recall this, because we are following the same 7 steps to have our image to apply this low pass filter and high pass filter. Fine. So I'm just giving you 2 minutes. Please recall the steps very quickly. So have you seen this? Should I ask you that? How to do it? Should I ask you the steps? Okay, fine. So let's move on to the low pass filter. See again the same steps. That what I'm saying is, step 1 is given an input image f of xy with some size m cross n, whatever is the image size, whatever the image you are reading, right? That size is m cross n. Now you want the extra padding parameters. Do you remember what kind of padding you have done in the spatial domain? In the spatial domain, what you have done is whatever is your image size, suppose 512 cross 512 is the size, right? So what you are doing is, in this size, within this size, you are applying suppose 3 cross 3, that is your filter. So you are just simply padding this 512 cross 512 with m minus 1 and n minus 1 size. Do you remember that? So here I'll simply pad 2, 2 because m is 3, n is 3. So 3 minus 1, 2 and n minus 1, 2. 2 cross 2. So 2 rows and the 2 columns I'll simply put extra. This is what we were doing. Say yes or no. Yes, right? This is what we have done in spatial domain. But here in the frequency domain, the padding is different. What you will do in padding, you have to make it like P is equals to 2 into M, exactly double in the size, and Q is equals to 2 into N. So if your image size is supposed to 56 cross 256, or I'll give you the example very simple, 500 cross 500, no, your padding parameter size would be 1000 cross 1000. Are you getting? It's exactly double than your original image. Fine. Okay. So that what we are selecting are P and Q. Now, step 2 is form a padded image fp of xy with the size p cross q by appending the necessary number of zeros to f of xy. Okay. Third step, because see, you have created one blank image, black colored image with the size of the double, but now you need to put your original image into this image. So better you understand this. Once I'll show you the output, then and only then you will understand this thing very well. Okay. So very first task, this is what your original image, that what I have read, that is cameraman.tif. Okay, its size is 256 cross 256. Now what I need to do, if it is 256 cross 256, I want one another image with the padded zeros. If this size is 256, this size is 512 cross 512. Fine. And then what I need to do, I just need to copy the intensity value from the very first row, very first column. We need to start till the end, and we will copy it into our another image, means over here. So this was my blank image with all the zeros, but I have put that image over here of this 256 cross 256 into my original. That is what padded image. So till this, is it clear? Yes or no? So we can move further. This is just I'm giving overview. I'll show you the whole code, so don't worry.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Now what we are doing is the next step. That is, we need to multiply it with minus 1 raised to x plus y, right? So we need to do the translation of the phase. Then we can convert into the discrete Fourier transform. So finally you will have your f of u. Then you will generate h of uv, that is what your function. The same thing what I said, you just read this, right? The same steps we are following. See, same steps. Then you will create one your filter function. Either the function will be ideal low pass filter, or it would be the Butterworth filter, or here it would be the Gaussian filter, whatever the filter is, right? That you are applying. That first you are creating. After that created filter, you are applying on f of uv. So f of uv into h of uv. Finally, you will have your g of uv. After that, once you will have the results in g of uv, you want to come back to your spatial domain. So what you need to do, you need to take inverse DFT. You need to multiply it with minus 1 raised to x plus y again. And then you will be having this padded image only. This one. This would be your padded image only. So you will take you will crop this, just this one as your output. So finally you will have your output. How does output, what the output is actually concluding, that all the things we are going to discuss in this lab. Fine? Okay. So we are starting with the very first step. Read your any of the input image, take the size in two variables m and n, then you can create the padding parameters pq, and you can create another image, right? So first a equals to im read cameraman.tif. I have read one of the image, fine. Now I am converting this image class into double. Why? Because whatever the image I'll create, no, that image data type would be by default what? It would be by default double. So I want my original image even as the double one. Okay? Because of that reason only I'm having this. After that, what we are doing here? Can anybody tell me this? Read this and tell me. Yes? Read it and tell me.
we have
Hmm.
B.
We have just
We were
taken the, yes, we have just taken the size of B, right? And that I'm storing into two variables M and N. So finally, I'll be having my number of rows and number of columns here. Simple, right? Then what
double
I
the size
want
of
to,
it.
yes, yes. Say yes.
Double the size of previous matrix.
Yeah, so this is what the size of this B, right? No, that is what your original image actually cameraman.ts. You can check those variables. That is why I have run this program first. See, this is your A. You can check here what is A is there. That is 256 cross 256. Okay, but uint8 means unsigned integer 8, that I want to convert it now in double, so I am taking here im to double. That is what the function to convert into double, so that will be stored in B. So now you can check the size will remain as it is 250 sorry, that is 256 cross 256, but the data type has been changed. Fine. Okay, then you are creating another image, that is this C image. You are creating it with the size what, all zeros, 2 into m into 2 into n. Okay, 2 into m, 2 into n. So it is exactly double than your original one. Okay, then in that image also you are simply taking the size p and q, because now onwards whenever we are using there's no p and q uh, into the for loop for rows and for the columns, whenever we will take the for loop we will use this p and q only, till p till q it will be executed. Say yes or no. Everywhere in the for loop we need to take this p and q now. Fine. Okay, so after that what I need to do, because this image C is right now with all zeros, means here no images like this, all zeros are there. Now I want to just copy that my original image to this padded image. So for that you need to take the for loops obviously, right? So you have taken for loop I is equals to 1 to p, j is equals to 1 to q, and if your I is less than or equals to m and n, it means what, your I is less than 256 and the 256, then you need to copy your b of ij to c of ij. B is your original image obviously. B is your original image, so that intensity value you are copying into the image C. So image C is having finally this look. Okay. Else, if it is out of that 256 size, because you can check your C size is what, 512 cross 512, exactly double. So for this values, this and this whole part, it will be 0. So that is C of I j equals to 0. Okay. Then this is what I am show B, I am show C. So I'm just showing you original image and padded image. Okay. After that, the step was what? Do you remember? Multiply your padded image by minus 1 raised to x plus y, right? So you are doing that. You are taking another image B is equals to zeros of PQ. Then you are multiplying your padded image with minus 1 raised to x plus y. So again you need to take for loops for 1 to p, 1 to q. What you are doing, d of ij equals to whatever the image is there, c of ij, that c of ij dot star minus 1 dot raised to I plus j, because your x and y here represent the coordinates. Here I and j is actually representing the coordinates into your program. Right? Any doubt till this? So we can move further. Any doubt in this? No doubt. Okay. Great. So here we are doing just minus 1 raised to I plus j. Fine. And why I have used dot? Because it's element wise multiplication. If you will simply write this multiplication, no, it will do matrix multiplication, and that we don't want. Okay. Fine. After that, it will show you the pre-processed image. After multiplying minus 1 raised to this I plus j, you will get the image like this. Okay. Now you are converting this image into frequency domain. So the function is what? FFT2. That just I have shown to you, no? This FFT. Right? FFT2. That is the function. So you are converting your image D, and finally that image in the frequency domain, that will be stored in E. So E equals to FFT2 of D. Okay. So this is what your image looks in frequency domain. Fine. This is what your image, which is converted in frequency domain. Right? It would be having the 4 phases, and that is why we have actually taken the padded array like this. You can see this 1, 2, 3, and 4. This would be the phase. You are shifting to any one of the phase over here, right? Fine. And that is why we are multiplying with x plus y, minus 1 raised to x plus y. So you can take this 4 phase. I mean, 1, 2, 3, and 4 parts. Fine. Now the next. Now what you need to do is, see, frequency domain is a large domain, very large domain, right? In that, how you can divide your frequency domain. So here what we want is, we want to divide our frequency domain into some space. Okay, because it's a very large domain. You cannot actually measure it by the pixels, just like your spatial domain, right? So there would be one function here in the MATLAB, that is frequency space. It will distribute your frequency domain into the equal parts. And how they will do that, I'm showing you. Just wait for a minute. Yeah. Here it is. So here you can check. This is what your frequency space. Frequency spacing for frequency response. It returns the implied frequency range for equally spaced frequency response. Equally spaced. So how they are doing the spacing? So if here you are specifying any one of the number, I mean, suppose I'm giving here 5, so it will just divide it into 5 cross 5. If I'm having some here the different values, then I can give m and n both. I mean, number of rows are different in the columns. Then I can give here like 5, 1, 2 cross 2, 5, 6, suppose like that. Okay. Then it will divide it by this m by n matrix. Your frequency range vectors will be like this. So if this number n is your number of columns, if that number is the odd one, no, then it will divide your frequency f1, f2 in the equal space, it will start with -1 plus 1 upon n. 2 by n would be increment, and it will do till 1 minus 1 upon n. Right? This way it will divide the frequency. You don't have to go in deep, but this is just I'm showing you what it means. So it will divide. If it is odd, then like this. If it is even number, that is into our case. Suppose your n is what? 512. Right? So 512 is what? Even number. So it will divide like -1. It will start from there. Then it will divide it 2 divided by n, and it will stop at 1 minus 2 divided by n. Okay. So here you have two options. One is mesh grid and the another one is whole. This one, whole. Right? If it is whole, it will divide your frequency via this formula. It will start with 0 and it will divide like this. Right? And if you are choosing this one, no, mesh grid, then it will divide via this formulas. Okay. So I am using here this mesh grid. Right? This whole story was for this line. Fine. So what I'm doing is I'm using here frequency space. So that is the function. Then I'll be having this P and Q, that is 512 cross 512, and I want to divide it with this mesh grid method. And that will be stored finally in X and Y. So X and Y is nothing but F1 and F2. They are my frequencies now. Right? They are my frequency values, which is divided in some range. Right? Equally distributed, equally divided. Okay. Then I'm taking another image here. Z is equals to with all zeros of P and Q. Again, I'll take the for loop. And now what I need is, my next step is what? My next step is to create the filter. Means this one. I need to create my filter function h of u. And for that only, if we are creating here for a now ideal low pass filter. So you know this function, this h of u equals to 1 if your d of u is less than or equals to d0. But how you will find this d of uv? So d of uv you can find u minus m by 2 square plus v minus n by 2 square raised to 1 by 2 means under root this. So this we are finding. See, z of ij equals to square root of x of ij dot raised to 2. From where we got this x of ij? From here. This is what your frequency, equally spaced frequency value. That particular point, that particular frequency, it will be considered as your one of the point, d of u. Okay. So z of ij equals to square root of x of ij square means that is what your x square plus y square under root. Right? This is what you are finding. Okay. Now you are coming back onto your low pass filter. So first you are taking this h equals to with all zeros of pq. Again you will have this loop. Now you are checking if z of ij is less than or equals to 0.4. This 0.4 I am describing it my d0. This 0.4, that static value, whatever I am giving, that is my d0. Okay. So if my d of uv is less than or equals to this, so I am saying that you can pass because it's a low frequency, low pass filter. So I'll allow it to pass. But if it is greater than my range, then it will become 0. Very simple. Whatever we have learned in theory, that thing we are applying over here as the practical. Okay. So this is what, if your z of ij is less than or equals to 0.4, your h of ij will be equals to 1. or else your h of ij equals to 0. Simple. This is what you have made your filter. You have not yet applied it. You have not yet applied it. First, you have made this filter. That is what the step. First, you are creating it, and now after that, you can apply g of uv equals to h of uv into f of uv. Now you can apply it. Okay. But first, you have just created it. So that is your low pass filter mask. So you can check this what we have created. Right? This is what I have drawn my radius. Within this radius, if the frequencies are there, they will become 1, else they will become 0. Okay. Now I am multiplying it. See, this is my image in frequency domain. This is my filter mask. I'll multiply this two and I'll get the result like this. Because here only the frequencies are allowed and the rest of will become 0. Because we are doing h of uv into f of uv, so I'll get my g of uv. This is my g of uv. Are you getting? Say yes or no. I think that you, I mean, if you will say then and only then I'll get to know. So till this everything is clear? Yes or no? Nobody is responding means I am connected with you guys or not? That is the doubt now. Okay, clear, good, very nice, very nice, good, fine. Okay, so that task I'll do now because I want my g of uv. So see, now the next step is g of uv equals to h of uv into f of uv. So my image which is there in frequency domain, that is E, right? No, and my filter function, that is H. So I just need to multiply E with H. So I'll get my G of UV. So this H1 is nothing but your G of UV equals to H of UV into F of U. Fine. So E dot star H, element wise multiplication. Again I'm repeating. Okay. Then you will just do IM show H1, right? And this is what the title, low pass output. Now, what you need to do? You need to take inverse DFT over here, right? Inverse DFT of your G of UV, and then you will multiply it with minus 1 raised to x plus y. So you are taking here inverse of this FFT, I FFT2 of this H1, because you have your final result in H1. Now you are taking inverse it. So this is your H2. So we are showing you H2, the output image after doing inverse to the DFT. That is this. But still it is remain to do minus 1 raised to x plus y. So next step would be that. Again we will take the for loop. Again we will take the for loop. Right. I will take another image H3 equals to zeros of PQ. 2 for loop. I'll do H3 of Ij equals to H2 of Ij, whatever I'm having in this. And that simply multiply with minus 1 raised to I plus j. Right. So I'll show you post-processed image. So that is this. Fine. Because here only low frequencies are allowed, high frequency has been suppressed. Now I want only this cropped one. I want to ignore this padded zeros. So I'll simply ignore this and I'll take only 256 cross 256. So I'll take my output image with the size as like MN, not the PQ. Here is the change. Here everywhere, whatever the image we have created, that is with the size PQ, means 512 cross 512. But here I'm creating with the size MN because my original size is 256 cross 256. So out, that is your output image, equals to all zeros of Mn. Now you will apply for loop 1 to M, 1 to N, and out of Ij equals to H3 of Ij. Out of Ij equals to H3 of Ij. So what simply it is doing in output image, it will simply take whatever the intensity values are there from 256 cross 256. So from this H3 image, it will take one by one row and the column till 256 cross 256, and it will put it to another image. This is what your output image. This is your input image. This is your output image. Fine. So I'm just writing over here, I am sure you can simply put both the images together like this. B out into the square bracket. B was your original image, out is your output image. You will give the title like this and that will work. Okay. Clear? Any doubt in this? Now you can observe one thing. We have seen this, no, B0, about this B0. If we will keep B0 high, then less blurring will be there. If we will keep B0 very low, means more blurring will be there. So let's check that part. Here I have kept my D0, that is 0.4, right? You can give this value between 0 to 1. So I am giving over here 0.9, means very high radius, okay? So you can check the output. Very high radius means big circle. Inside that everything is allowed, means almost all the frequency I'm saying it is allowed. So see, less blurring is there, less ringing effect is there. Say yes or no. Okay. And if I'm making it 0.1, right, and now you can check a very small circle, within that only you are allowing, else you are not allowing. So the result would be much blurred image. This is what your output. Okay. So is it clear, everyone? D0 if we are keeping high, less ringing effect, less blurring, because almost all the frequency you are allowed to come. But if it is your very less frequency, very less radius you are keeping, then more blurring will be there. Okay? Fine. Same way, this is what we have seen about the low pass filter. But the same you can see for the high pass filter. Same thing, only one line has been changed. Do you remember that? If it is your high pass filter, ideal high pass filter, what was the formula? It's exactly reverse of this. So if it is your high pass filter, you will just change, if it is within the radius, then make it 0, otherwise it is 1. So only one line has been changed. The whole program is same. This is for high pass filter. As it is program, you just need to do Control C, Control V and change over here. If I'll keep this 0.4, you are saying that if within this range, make it 0. Out of this range, then make it 1. So this is what your high pass filter. Just let me know what the high frequency means. Many of the times we have discussed this. Again, I'm repeating. High frequency means what? If there would be the boundary, if there would be the edges, then they are known as high frequency. And in high pass filter, you are only allowing high frequency and you are ignoring the low frequency. Say yes or no, right? Low frequency means the steady, static, stable kind of intensity value. So it is very similar to like wall color, right? It won't change frequently. All the neighbors are having the same intensity value what your neighbors are having. All the pixels are having almost same value. So that is static. Static means low frequency. Are you getting yes or no? Okay. Yes. So that is why we have seen in this that we are only getting boundaries, right? We are only getting edges in high pass filter. So the same we will check over here. This is what I have done. H of ij equals to 0 and h of ij equals to 1. Just by one change, you can check the result. This is reverse. Here it is not allowed. Outside everything is allowed. So this is what my result. Fine. It will always allow boundaries, not the low frequencies. See, here what is the background? They all are having the same color, gray color. Have you seen this? So they all are considered to be your low frequency. Only sharp transition would be there whenever there would be the boundary. So boundary will be here. All the other details, they are considered as low frequency. Here also you can check like if I'm keeping this zero point 0.9. 0.9 means you can check. This many things are not allowed. Only the other things are allowed. You can check this. I mean, this is not allowed. This all are I'm considering as low frequency. This part only allowed. So it will give you the very light boundary. You can hardly check it. Who is having very high frequency, no sharp transition, that will only be there. Seen this? And if the reverse, if I'll give over here, this d0 equals to 0.1, then you can check. Only few things are not allowed, otherwise everything is allowed. See, this is only not allowed, otherwise everything is allowed. So you will get the results like this. Fine. So this is what about the low pass and high pass filter. Whatever we have learned in the theory, the same thing we have implemented in the lab. Done? Clear?
Here.
Very nice. Good. So you can just write your numbers here. You don't have to leave the mid. Just write your numbers here. Just write your numbers. Then you need to finish the program. Okay? Please write your numbers very quickly if you have not yet written it. Have you? Everyone, should I take your name? Haresh, Henil, Isha, Janvi, Krishna, Kunj, Madhwan, Parth, Pooja, Pranav, Ritesh, Shivangi, Shreya, Smith, Tulsi, Vani, and Yash. Have you written your numbers? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.